Every spring, millions of gardeners rush to plant hydrangeas, dreaming of those big, colorful blooms that fill magazine covers and garden center displays. But by midsummer, many are left staring at wilted leaves, brown edges, and maybe a handful of small flowers, if they're lucky. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Hydrangeas are some of the most beloved shrubs in American gardens, yet they're also among the most misunderstood. Many people assume these plants are fussy or temperamental, when in reality, they're just victims of the wrong conditions. It's not about having a green thumb. It's about understanding what hydrangeas actually need. Here's the truth. Most hydrangea failures aren't caused by pests or poor genetics. They happen because of a few simple but critical mistakes: planting in the wrong soil, watering the wrong way, pruning at the wrong time, or feeding them the wrong nutrients. Small errors that seem harmless can quietly sabotage months of growth. According to research from the University of Georgia Extension, 2022, more than 60% of struggling hydrangeas in home gardens fail due to preventable soil and watering mistakes. That means the problem isn't your ability, it's the information you were given. The good news? Once you know what's really happening beneath the surface, hydrangeas become some of the easiest, most rewarding shrubs you can grow. Whether you're gardening from a raised bed, a patio pot, or your backyard, you can turn those disappointing bushes into breathtaking showpieces that thrive year after year. So, let's uncover the 7 costly mistakes that quietly ruin hydrangeas and how to fix them for good. Mistake number 1, wrong soil and location. If your hydrangeas look tired, droopy, or produce few blooms, chances are the problem started before you even finish planting. The number 1 hydrangea killer is not bugs, not disease. It's poor soil and wrong placement. Hydrangeas are what horticulturists at the University of Illinois Extension call Goldilocks plants. Everything has to be just right. The soil must drain well, but still hold enough moisture. Think of a damp sponge, moist but never soggy. If your soil is heavy clay, it traps water and suffocates the roots, leading to yellow leaves and root rot. On the other hand, sandy soil drains too fast, leaving the plant constantly thirsty and stressed. The fix? Improve your soil before you plant. Mix compost, aged manure, or perlite into clay soil to improve drainage. In sandy soil, add peat moss or leaf mold to help retain moisture. Aim for a pH between 6.0 and 7.0, neutral to slightly acidic, for most hydrangea varieties. You can test this easily with a $10 soil kit from any garden center. Location matters just as much. Hydrangeas dislike extremes. They love morning sunlight and afternoon shade, what experts at North Carolina State University's horticulture department call filtered light. Too much sun scorches the leaves. Too much shade means no flowers. The best spots are along the east side of your home or under tall trees with dappled light. If your hydrangea is already struggling, don't hesitate to move it in early fall or spring. Replant at soil level, never bury the crown, water deeply, and add 2 to 3 inches of mulch around the base, keeping it an inch away from the stem to prevent rot. Get the soil and placement right, and you'll fix 70% of hydrangea problems before they even begin. As simple as it sounds, the right foundation creates the difference between a wilted shrub and a show-stopping bloom display. Mistake number 2, watering the wrong way. Hydrangeas have a reputation for being thirsty, but many gardeners take that too literally and end up killing their plants with kindness. The truth? Overwatering or shallow watering is one of the fastest ways to destroy healthy roots. Most people grab a hose and sprinkle the soil surface for a few minutes. It looks wet, so they assume the job's done. But here's the problem. Hydrangeas have deep, spreading roots that can reach 18 to 24 inches underground. Surface watering only wets the top 2 inches, training roots to grow upward instead of deep. Those shallow roots dry out quickly and can't handle heat, drought, or wind stress. Researchers from the University of California Cooperative Extension found that deep watering encourages stronger, more drought-tolerant roots in shrubs like hydrangeas. Instead of daily sprinkles, water deeply twice a week. Let the hose trickle slowly for 30 to 45 minutes, or use a soaker hose that releases water evenly. You'll want the moisture to reach at least 12 to 18 inches deep. A simple test: stick a long screwdriver into the ground. If it goes in easily, your watering is deep enough. To make your watering even more efficient, add 2 to 3 inches of organic mulch, shredded bark, compost, or leaf mold around the base. According to the University of Minnesota Extension, mulch reduces water loss by up to 50% and keeps roots cool in summer. And don't forget, timing matters. Water early in the morning so leaves dry before nightfall, preventing fungal issues. Skip automatic sprinklers that mist foliage. Always aim for the soil, not the leaves. When you switch from surface watering to deep soaking, you'll see a visible difference within weeks: stronger stems, glossier leaves, and fuller blooms. Just remember, it's not about watering more often, it's about watering smarter. Mistake number 3, the fertilizer trap. Many gardeners love their hydrangeas so much that they love them to death with fertilizer. It's one of the most heartbreaking mistakes because it comes from good intentions. You want big, colorful blooms, but end up with nothing but leaves. Hydrangeas are heavy feeders, but they need balanced nutrition, not the nitrogen-heavy lawn fertilizer many people grab by mistake. According to the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension, excess nitrogen encourages lush green foliage at the expense of blooms. The result? Beautiful leaves, but only a handful of flowers. The solution is to use a balanced, slow-release fertilizer, such as October 10th, 10, or 14-14-14, which provides equal amounts of nitrogen, N, phosphorus, P, and potassium, K. Feed twice per year, once in early spring as new growth starts, and again in midsummer to support continuous blooming. Avoid late-season fertilizing after August, since it can push tender growth that winter frost will kill. For gardeners who love playing with bloom colors, soil pH makes a fascinating difference. Cornell University's Department of Horticulture explains that soil acidity affects the color of big-leaf hydrangeas, Hydrangea macrophylla. Acidic soil, pH 5.0 to 6.0, turns blooms blue, while alkaline soil, pH 7.0 to 8.0, turns them pink. To shift color, apply aluminum sulfate to lower pH for blue flowers or garden lime to raise it for pink. The process is gradual. Expect results over 1 to 2 growing seasons. A final tip: skip liquid fertilizers that give a quick jolt of nutrients but fade fast. Slow-release granules nourish steadily and safely. Over time, you'll notice fuller, healthier shrubs and consistent blooms. Remember, feeding hydrangeas is a marathon, not a sprint. Give them balanced nutrition, and they'll repay you with months of stunning flowers instead of a few weeks of leafy disappointment. Mistake number 4, pruning at the wrong time. Nothing frustrates gardeners more than seeing a healthy hydrangea produce 0 blooms after pruning. But this is one of the most common and painful mistakes. Why? Because not all hydrangeas bloom on the same type of wood. There are 2 main types: old wood bloomers like big leaf, oak leaf, mountain, and climbing hydrangeas. They set flower buds on last year's growth, usually in late summer or fall. New wood bloomers like panicle and smooth hydrangeas, they form buds on new growth in the current season. If you prune an old wood bloomer in winter or early spring, you're literally cutting off all the flower buds that would have bloomed next year. The University of Tennessee Extension estimates that improper pruning causes up to 70% of lost hydrangea blooms annually. The fix is simple. For old wood types, prune only right after flowering, within 4 to 6 weeks. Remove just the dead or crossing branches. Never cut more than 1/3 of the plant. For new wood types, prune in late winter or early spring before growth starts. You can cut them back harder, even to 1/3 their size, to encourage stronger stems and larger blooms. If you're unsure which type you have, observe the bloom pattern. Early summer blooms equals old wood. Mid to late summer blooms equals new wood. Personal tip from seasoned gardeners: label your plants with their type and pruning schedule. It saves you heartache every spring. With proper timing, pruning turns from a bloom killer into a bloom booster, helping your hydrangeas stay full, vibrant, and breathtaking year after year. Mistake number 5. Planting too deep or too close. It's easy to overlook planting depth and spacing, but these two details can make or break your hydrangeas. Many gardeners dig holes too deep or crowd plants together. Both are slow killers. When you bury the crown, the base where the stems meet the roots, below soil level, moisture builds up and causes crown rot, a fungal condition that gradually weakens the plant from the inside out. The University of Florida IFAS Extension warns that improper planting depth is among the top causes of hydrangea decline. Here's the golden rule. Plant hydrangeas at the same depth they were growing in their pot, no deeper. The soil line on the stem should match your garden soil level. Dig a hole twice as wide, but no deeper than the root ball. Loosen the soil, then backfill and water thoroughly. Spacing is just as crucial for air circulation and disease prevention. Follow this spacing guide. Big leaf hydrangeas, 4 to 6 feet apart. Panicle hydrangeas, 6 to 8 feet apart. Oakleaf hydrangeas, 6 to 10 feet apart. Crowding traps humidity, encourages mildew, and limits bloom size. Give your hydrangeas breathing room. They'll reward you with healthier roots, fewer pests, and fuller flowers. Remember, in gardening, patience and space always pay off. Plant too deep or too close, and your hydrangeas will struggle. Give them room to grow, and they'll thrive for decades. Mistake number 6, ignoring winter protection. Many gardeners assume hydrangeas are tough enough to survive any winter unprotected, but that's one of the most common reasons for weak or bloomless plants the following year. Even cold-hardy varieties can suffer bud loss, stem splitting, and root damage when exposed to harsh winter conditions. According to the University of Minnesota Extension, hydrangea flower buds can begin to die at temperatures below -5 degrees Fahrenheit, -20 degrees Celsius, especially on old wood bloomers like Hydrangea macrophylla and H. corsifolia. Once those buds are gone, there will be no blooms in spring, no matter how well you care for the plant. To protect your hydrangeas. Mulch. Apply 4 to 6 inches of organic mulch, like shredded leaves or straw, around the base in late fall. This insulates the roots and stabilizes soil temperature. Wrap. For exposed areas, gently wrap plants with burlap or use wire cages filled with dry leaves to protect buds from wind and frost. Watering. Keep watering until the ground freezes. Dry roots are more vulnerable to cold damage. Avoid fall pruning. It stimulates new growth that frost can kill. Wait until spring or after flowering. Gardeners in zones 5 to 7 can also use microclimate planting. For example, planting near a wall or fence for added protection from cold winds. Winter doesn't have to be hydrangea season's end. With just a little preparation, your shrubs can wake up healthy, strong, and ready to bloom beautifully next year. Mistake number 7, ignoring soil compaction. Healthy hydrangeas start with healthy soil, but compacted soil silently suffocates roots, blocking air, water, and nutrients from reaching the plant. Over time, your shrubs weaken, yellow, and stop blooming, even if you water and fertilize regularly. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service reports that compacted soil can reduce water infiltration by 50 to 80%, leaving roots starved for both oxygen and moisture. You might notice that water runs off instead of soaking in, or that your plants droop soon after watering, classic signs of compaction. To fix the problem, focus on rebuilding soil structure. Add organic matter annually, compost, aged manure, or leaf mold. These ingredients attract earthworms and microorganisms that naturally loosen the soil. Avoid walking on wet soil. Pressure from feet or equipment compresses particles even tighter. Create permanent paths or stepping stones to protect root zones from foot traffic. For older gardens, consider raised beds or soil aeration using a garden fork or auger tool to reintroduce airflow. According to Iowa State University Extension, improving soil texture not only boosts bloom quality, but also enhances the hydrangea's lifespan by strengthening its root system. Healthy soil is like healthy lungs. It breathes. When you give your hydrangeas loose, living soil, you'll see stronger stems, deeper colors, and more abundant bloom season after season. Seasonal care calendar. Mastering hydrangea care is all about timing. When you know what your plants need each season, you'll enjoy steady growth and repeat blooms year after year. Here's a simple, senior-friendly guide that keeps everything on track. Spring, March, May. Apply a balanced slow-release fertilizer, October 10th, 10 or 14-14-14, as new growth begins. Refresh mulch layers to protect soil moisture. Check irrigation systems for even coverage. Prune new wood bloomers, such as panicle and smooth hydrangeas before new buds form. Summer, June, August. Deep water 2 to 3 times per week in the early morning. Remove spent blooms to encourage new flower clusters. Provide shade during heat waves using garden cloth or umbrellas. Watch for mildew or aphids and treat early to avoid stress. Fall, September, November. Stop fertilizing 6 to 8 weeks before the first frost. Prune old wood bloomers only after flowering ends. Apply winter mulch 4 to 6 inches thick to insulate roots. Continue watering until the ground freezes. Winter, December, February. Protect tender varieties with burlap or cages filled with dry leaves. Avoid disturbing frozen soil or compacted mulch. Plan ahead by testing soil and preparing planting sites for spring. According to the American Horticultural Society, following a consistent seasonal care routine can reduce plant stress and increase bloom reliability by nearly 40%. The secret to thriving hydrangeas is steady, mindful care rather than constant work. Variety selection by climate and conditions. Choosing the right hydrangea for your region makes the difference between frustration and success. Each species has its own comfort zone, and seniors benefit most from reliable, low-maintenance varieties. Cold climates, zones 3 to 5. Panicle hydrangeas, Hydrangea paniculata, such as limelight, little lime, and firelight, are hardy and bloom on new wood. Smooth hydrangeas, H. arborescens, like Annabelle and Incredible, thrive even after severe winters. Moderate climates, zones 6 to 7. Big leaf hydrangeas, H. macrophylla, including endless summer or Nico blue, give repeat blooms with winter protection. Mountain hydrangeas, H. serrata, tolerate cold better and stay compact, ideal for raised beds. Warm climates, zones 8 to 10. Oakleaf hydrangeas, H. quercifolia, handle heat and drought well and show brilliant fall color. Climbing hydrangeas, H. anomala petiolaris, add vertical beauty in shaded areas. Research from the USDA Plant Hardiness Database confirms that choosing zone-appropriate varieties increases bloom success by up to 60%. By matching the right type to your climate, sunlight, and soil, you can reduce maintenance while enjoying healthier, more vibrant flowers all year long. Now that you know the 7 common mistakes and their fixes, here is a simple plan tailored for senior gardeners. Assess your garden and note where plants struggle with blooms, sun exposure, or soil. Test the soil using an affordable kit to check pH and drainage, then amend with compost or peat moss if needed. Switch to deep watering twice per week using a soaker hose. Add 3 to 4 inches of mulch to conserve moisture and insulate roots. Identify your hydrangea types and mark proper pruning times on your calendar. Use raised beds, garden seats, and light gloves to reduce physical strain. Work during cooler morning hours and avoid bending for long periods. According to the American Society for Horticultural Science, gentle gardening activities improve flexibility and reduce stress by 30% in older adults. This plan helps you maintain healthy hydrangeas while also keeping gardening comfortable and enjoyable.